Chase for your next number, and be as quick as you can, or this pantomime will not be ready till next Christmas.
Thank you, Mum. But put in a biscuit for Patch, won't you?
Oh, so you're going to take Pat, are you? Who's going to look after him while you rehearse?
Mr. Gridley will keep him for me, in his office.
Oh, to be sure. You're a great favourite of Mr. Gridley's, aren't you? Mustn't forget to give you a bus fare. Then I've got no change. Never mind, I'll ask your father. He's got some coppers. He's only in the shop.
But it's got its compensations, you know, Tom. Especially when you've got a wife who can cook as well as mine can. Won't be a minute, Tips. What, Donna?
He's one of the lucky ones. Yes, you're right.
Landlord called or something?
I want fourpence for Hazel's bus fare.
Fourpence? That's what old Thomas would call a nasty hole in the price of a pint. Good job I took 2 bob out of the till. There you are, me ducks. Going to rehearsal, are you?
Yes, sir.
Splendid.
Right here.
I'd say. Haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, yes.
Never forget your dear old dad. She's a lad, isn't she, eh? You know, old girl, I sometimes wonder how we managed it. Oh. You know, Mr. Shirley told me that one day she might make our name famous.
Where's Hazel Barker's contract, Sylvia?
What's over there? On the right by your elbow.
Oh, here it is.
Going down to rehearsal today, Daddy?
Yes, you coming?
I don't expect so. I'm going to the hospital. Got a date with Roger. I may even be asked to stay for lunch.
How is Roger?
Oh, he's all right. He's very tired. There's been a lot of accidents lately.
Yes, I'll bet being a house surgeon's a whole-time job.
I hope not, seeing I'm going to marry him. Well, I must be off. Look here. Don't forget to get that Hazel Barker's option settled. That child's worth watching.
So you're trying to teach me my job, eh?
Bye.
Oh!
Roads are safe for nothing nowadays. Poor little chap. I don't think it went right over him.
Why, Hazel, what's happened, dear?
It's Patch, Miss Shirley. I'm afraid he's broken his leg or something.
Oh, dear. I know what we'll do. We'll go to the hospital and see Dr. Hood. He'll help Patch, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you, Miss Shirley.
Bill, has Hazel Barker arrived yet? I haven't seen her, Governor. She's half an hour late already. Send someone down to her house and see what's happened to her. She's holding up the whole outfit. Very good, sir.
Hello, darling. What's all this?
Oh, this is Hazel Barker. She's in the show. Her dog's had an accident, and I thought perhaps you could do something for him.
I'll have a look at him. Now, don't worry, I won't hurt him. Compound fracture, I'm afraid. I'll have to examine him more thoroughly.
He's not going to die, is he?
No, of course not, but he's had a very nasty smash. Maybe a longest job getting him right again.
But you will, won't you, Doctor?
Of course, I'll do as much for him as for any two-legged patient in this hospital. I can't say more than that, can I? Now, don't worry. He'll be in good hands.
Thanks awfully, Roger. Now, Hazel, you run along to rehearsal and tell Mr. Shelley what's happened and that you've been with me.
Goodbye, Patch.
Awfully good of you, Roger. We're very fond of Hazel. And now she knows her dog's in safe hands, she won't worry while she works. She means quite a lot to our pantomime.
So I gather.
Hello, my darling. What do you want?
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Shirley, but Pat had an accident, and Miss Shirley took us round to the hospital.
Oh, never mind. Oh, we mustn't have those tears. Remember, you're a little artist now. That's better. I tell you what, run and get into your practice frock and try over your number, and I'll come down and have a look at it.
He'll wake in a few minutes with a juice of an appetite. You better take him along and put him in that empty cubicle at the bottom of the balcony. We never use that now. By the way, Sylvia, we've got some bad news here.
Oh, what about it?
About the hospital.
Oh.
The lease runs out this year and the ground landlord won't renew it.
Well, what does that mean?
It means unless we can raise the money to buy the site outright, we shall have to move.
Move to hospital after all these years?
That's what it comes to. They want to build flats and shops here. They've offered us another site, but it's out at Binstey. That's miles away. We should lose touch with the district altogether.
School, to me's a bore. This is my ABC. Listen. I just use the floor. Tap it out. What about this one? Talking feet. I've got those talking feet. When just a baby's sweet, I started walking. Tapping shoes that shoot away the blues. That was the way I choose instead of talking. When I wanted toys and pretty things, I do double wings on style rhythm. Talking feet, just listen to that beat. I've got those talking feet that take you with them. Tapping along.
Better now? There's a lovely kippers in Providence!
Here, Joe. Have you seen this?
Well, what do you know about that?
You think there's anything in it?
I hope not, for all our sakes.
I don't believe a word of it. It's a rotten paper anyhow.
So she is. Never tipped a winner all last week. I only use it to wrap fish up in.
Oh, but they can't go shifting that hospital about like that, can they?
Why can't they? They're capable of anything. Didn't they shift the brewery?
That's right. And if they'll do that, they'll do anything.
We can't stand here and see our hospital messed about. There ain't one of us don't know it's something.
That's a fact. It's where my woman had it in the Texas. Peaceful as fish around.
Oh, remember that. There you are, you see. You've got something to be grateful for, ain't you?
Yeah.
She left you the business.
Then again, there's a bit of my property there, too.
Property? How do you mean?
Well, haven't they got my appendix there in a glass bottle? You think I'm going to stand here and see that shoved about like a market batter?
Yes, and what about my floating kidney?
Ah, well, they left you one, didn't they? What are you grumbling about?
Now, look here, Joe. Can we rely on you to do something?
You can. Leave everything to me. I'll find out all about it. I'll go and see the mayor himself and his blooming corporation.
Yeah, Joe. First bills of a friend of mine. Put him in a good position, won't you?
Sure. What's the show like this year?
Oh, taking all right at rehearsals. Sit up.
Hello, mate.
Your kid ain't half bad.
Well, I mean, look, she takes after her father.
Oh, no, she's not as bad as all that.
Come here, girls. Don't cross the road till I come.
Finished for the day, Mrs. Spiller?
Yes.
I knock off at 6 o'clock. I was thinking perhaps you'd like to join the missus and I and have a drop of something at the Crown.
That's very kind of you. The Crown. That's in the High Street, if I remember right.
Best house this side of Allgate Buck. Kept the Burke Gumley. You know him, surely.
Yes, I suppose I do.
A superman. Had delirium trimmings twice in 6 months and survived.
No.
Yes. Doc threw it up at the hospital, said he never had believed it possible.
Well, that's comforting to know anyway. So long, see you at the Crown.
Well, I'll be there. Hello, dearie. What's this I hear about your little dog?
Oh, I hadn't time to tell you this morning. I was so late. Pat's got run over.
Oh.
But he'll be all right. Dr. Hood got him up at the hospital.
Oh, he'll be all right. Dr. Hood's looking after him. I don't know what we'd do without the doctor. You know, I had a brother up there last year, and they had to take him by force. But they treated him so well that when he was discharged, blow me if they didn't have to use force to take him away again.
Well, time's going on. Pantomime's over. We don't seem to have done much to help the hospital yet.
But we're doing our best.
I know, but that best ain't good enough. The subscription sheets are out, but I can't see us getting the money that way. It's a lot of money to pick up out of a district like this.
Well, you'll have to do as you said, Joe. Go for those who've got the money.
She's right.
Now, who are you going to tackle first?
Well, what about old Gibbs? He's got as much as anybody round about here.
But him as keeps the grocery store down in South Street? Not a hope. He's the meanest man in the borough. Got married in the chicken run, so as not to waste the rice.
How about old Selby, who runs the hairdressing saloon? Oh, he's worse. Sprinkles hair store on his shaving brushes.
I've heard that.
I thought of an idea, Dad.
You? I thought you were supposed to be doing your homework.
I was, but I couldn't help listening. Why shouldn't the music hall keep the hospital?
Hey?
Yes. Why not, Dad?
What, do you mean get up a show for the hospital?
Yes. I'm sure Mr. Shirley would lend us the hall.
Maybe, but that kind of thing's overdone. You've got to give them something different these days.
So we can.
Yes, but I don't know how. Who's to fix everything up? Who's to go and tackle all the artists? Who's going to run the show?
Me.
What?
Don't make me laugh. I've got a split lip.
Oh, shut up, do.
Now, Thomas, what do you think of the idea?
Oh, the idea's all right. But I can see there'll be lots of snags in it.
That's right. Encourage the child. You're a proper wet blanket, that's what you are.
Wet blanket? Me?
Yes.
Why, where I live, I'm the life and soul of the place.
That's nothing to brag about. Look where you do live. Next door to a cemetery.
Now, for goodness sake, stop arguing and let's stick to the point.
Well, I like the kid's idea. It'd be a great thing if we could plant that hospital here for keeps. You know, permanent-like.
Ah, there isn't nothing permanent in this world. Look at old Higgins, the window cleaner. He thought he was fixed for life when he got that job at the Crystal Palace. And now what?
There he is. At it again.
Why don't you pull yourself together and look on the bright side? I think it's a great scheme, Hazel, and we're going to back you up. Ain't we, Thomas?
Well, if it'll give the kid a leg up.
That's the spirit. We'll go all out for local support. They're a rough and ready crowd round here, but they're as good as gold taking them all together.
Yes. There's many a warm heart beats beneath a dirty shirt.
Yes. We'll work the market for all it's worth.
And the pubs.
I'm sure Mr. Gundley at the Crown will help. Could only be giving back some of the wages you've been giving him for the past few years.
Oh, come, Mrs. Barker.
Now, Thomas, I saw you with my own eyes coming out of the Crown last night.
Well, you can't blame me for that. I had to come out. It was closing time.
All right, then it's all fixed. Tomorrow morning we'll go and see Mr. Sherman.
All right, Joe. Sit down.
Sit down, Hazel, dear.
Now, what's it all about?
I think I'll let Hazel open the ball. You see, it's her idea.
It's about the hospital, Mr. Shirley.
Oh, yeah?
You've heard, haven't you, that it may have to go?
Yes, Sylvia told me. I also read it in the papers.
In a nutshell, it's this, sir. They want £10,000. 5,000's been promised, providing we can find the other 5. We wondered if you'd lend us the theatre for a charity show.
Well, I'm always ready to help in the cause of charity. Let's hear the idea.
The idea is this.
Fried feeding or baking apple, £4 for 6 King Edward. We'll let him young garden, you know.
You haven't got a garden?
No, I did have, but someone come and knocked it off the windowsill.
Well, we've got to raise money for the hospital somehow. Haven't you got any ideas?
Of course, start a dog track.
A dog track?
Yeah, only begin in a small way with my fox terrier and your whippet. Here, I've got an idea how to raise money for the hospital. Now, let's form a syndicate. Fill up 2 coupons each in a football pool and give them half our winnings. One of us ought to click with 6 tickets.
Well, how many go in for it?
Oh, only about 4 million.
Oh, that's easy.
All right, it's a bargain. I'll let you have the theatre and produce the show for you if you find the artists.
What do you want the old hall for?
We want to try out some children's terms.
Well, I'll have to clean it up a bit. I only use it as a store now. Do you expect to find local talent around here?
Of course. You know the boys' band.
Oh, yes. They've given Jack Hilton a lot of sleepless nights.
And you ought to see the dance troupe at the girls' club.
Well, you seem to know what you want. I'll do my best for you.
Now, the girls can dress over there, and the boys up in the loft. And everything will be ready for you on Thursday.
Thank you. To follow in your father's footsteps is a motto for each boy. And following in father's footsteps is the thing I much enjoy. My mother caught me out one evening up the west end on the spree. She said, "Where are you going?" But I answered, "Don't ask me." I'm following in father's footsteps. I'm following the dear old dad. He's just in front with a fine big gal, so I thought I'd have one as well. I don't know where he's going, but when he gets there I'll be glad. I'm following in father's footsteps, yes. I'm following the dear old dad. I'm following in father's footsteps, yes. I'm following the dear old dad.
The next is John Lockwood, coon singer.
You can always tell when a coon's in love. He's dreaming the whole day long. Her eyes are just like the stars above when he sings a sweet love song. When I caught Mandy Lou, though I knew she was true, I found, like most lovers do, that all love's schemes go wrong. I used to sigh for the silvery moon. I used to sigh for the coal black coon. I used to spoon in the bright moonlight. And when the moon was out of sight, I used to sing to my Mandy Lou. My heart it's sad, but my love it's true. We've changed the tune. We were wed in June. We've a new moon now. It's a honeymoon.
Hazel, can Baby Joan go next? She's got to be in bed by 7:30.
Of course.
Thank you. With the turns you're getting?
I think some of them are good, don't you?
Oh, yes, very good. You know, nowadays some of you kids, you talk so much you ought to have your own houses of parliament. Well, what does your father think about your scheme?
Oh, don't tell Dad anything until everything's fixed up.
I thought he'd be here tonight. He's interested in the hospital.
He's busy enough. He's gone to see Mr. Gumley.
Good evening, Mrs. Brumley. Good evening, Albert.
Evening, Thomas.
I will now do myself the pleasure of shoving the boat out.
Oh, where'd you get that?
Touched old Walker for you.
Oh, I thought old Walker was pretty tight.
He was, that's how I got it. What's yours?
I'll have half a pint.
Ah, not a pint.
Right, pint.
And being as it's my birthday, I'll take the same. Perhaps you and Mrs. Gumley will join me.
Thanks. Many happy returns.
I didn't know it was your birthday, Thomas. How old are you?
71 and not an enemy in the world.
Outlived them all, eh? Well, if I look as good as you do when I'm your age, I'll do.
Yes, and doctor says I'm good for another 20 years.
No, the doctor says you've got to keep good for another 20 years.
My old dad, he lived to 98.
Just wanted to forget, man.
And he shouldn't have died then, only he would take up hiking.
And that finished him.
I took him past so many pubs, the old man weakened like. One night he floated into the Red Lion at Chipping Sodbury and finally sank.
Hello, what's this? Something nice and something new, eh?
Yes, just arrived. Nice bit of stuff, eh, Joe?
It makes the rest of the place look shabby, doesn't it, eh? What's the idea?
Well, I thought the missus were having a bit too much to do. Used to spend half her time in the bar, so of course I got this young woman to help.
That's not a good that's done me. Now I have to spend all my time in the bar watching Albert.
She doesn't really mean that, you know. No. Besides, I only get just near enough to girls to look at them.
Oh, but the trouble is, Albert, you're very short-sighted.
Well, cheerio, everybody. Listen, Albert, I want to have a word with you, private and confidential. Come here.
On the Sophie Tucker. Some of these days you're gonna miss me, honey. Some of these days you're gonna feel so lonely. You'll miss my hugging. You're gonna miss my kissing. You'll miss me. When I'm far away, I feel so lonely. You know, just for you only. 'Cause you know, honey, you know you've had your way. And when you leave me, oh, well, you know it's gonna quit me. You're gonna miss your big bed, mommy, yeah, mommy, yeah.
Barty Kendrick and an impression of Albert Whelan.
That's the stuff, Albert. I knew you'd do your bit. We're going to carry the good cause into high society.
How do you mean?
Well, you know Lord Langdale? He's one of the big knobs up at the hospital.
Aye.
Me and Hazel's got an appointment with him. We're going to get him to come along and see the show and bring a lot of his pals with him. He's going to cough up £5,000. That shows you the kind of bloke he is.
Yes, these knobs are all right. Once you break through the crust and find the real fella underneath.
Of course they are. What I say, he shouts in the House of Lords, I shouts in the market. I sells good fish sometimes. He talks good sense sometimes. Yeah, we're all much of a muchness, ain't we?
Aye. Well, good luck to the show. And if you're unshort of talent, I'll get my old woman to do your turn. How would you like to see her as a striptease dancer?
I couldn't. I broke my glasses.
Oh, Cedric.
Hello, hello.
Joe Barker and his daughter will be here any minute. Now, I want you to do all you can for them.
What do you mean about the thingamabob that help the whatchamacallit? Oh, yes.
Yes, to know it's an excellent object. I wish I could have afforded to put up the whole amount.
Yes.
Yes, Cedric, you really must interest yourself. You go everywhere, do everything, and know everybody.
Well, Aunt, you can count on me for anything for charity. You know, I'm always out to help the underdog. I may have been an underdog myself. By a slip of birth, though, I was born a pearl of realm.
Exactly. If you hadn't been born in the right bedroom, you might have been an organ grinder.
Oh, well, with a tail, yes. Yes, but this fellow Joe, I mean, who is he? What does he do?
I understand he cures fish.
Good heavens. Are fish ever ill? Fancy a codfish with catarrh, or pike with asthma.
Miss Hazel Barker and Mr. Joseph Barker.
Very glad you could come. Good evening. How do you do, Barker? I'm so glad to see you.
The lad thought it'd be a good idea if I was to come along.
Oh, my dear fellow, don't worry about that, please. My dear, this is Mr. Joseph Barker. This is Lord Cedric, my nephew.
How do you do?
How do you do? Oh, do sit down.
Lord Cedric has promised to interest himself in your gala performance.
That's very kind of him, my lord.
You see, he gets about a great deal more than we do nowadays, and in fact, I think he's the very man for you.
Yes, what exactly is the idea, Mr. Barker?
Well, roughly it's this. We want you to round up as many of your big knob pals as you can. Sell them the tickets and get them to come to the show.
Well, that puts it in a nutshell. As I've told you, Cedric, they want to raise £5,000. Well, it's not a lot of money when it's spread out. Why, if every member of your infernal nightclub sprung a tenner, that would do the trick.
A rally round, I'll tell my friends.
That's exactly what I mean. Cedric has such influence in the underworld.
What?
You know what I mean. All those clubs and places you belong to are really mostly in the basement, aren't they?
Yes, but I assure you the very best people go there. Mr. Barker, you may put me down as a supporter.
Thank you, my lord.
You know, I'm very interested in the stage. I've done quite a bit of amateur work myself.
Really?
Yes, you know, I'm very, very good at charades. And they tell me my impersonation of a rabbit is almost lifelike. And another thing, I can sing a comic song quite well, too.
I'll bet you'd be a riot.
A riot? I'm very nearly a massacre.
Well, it is understood, Cedric. You'll do everything in your power to make it a success.
Yes, I will. I'll do so. I can assure you that. You know, an amateur in the bill is sort of a distinction to the bill.
That's an excellent idea, Cedric. And what will you call yourself? The crooning Earl.
Oh, please, Margie, now don't be flipper. I'm taking this very seriously. Now, you listen to this, Mr. Barker. Please listen. I'm Phil, the Super Brazil. Folks know me as knit pipe and wit. All fond husbands glare as their women folks stare, while I pass them and radiate it. And all kinds of sports I smash records at will. My flights through the ether make Merrill feel ill. All shove halfpenny records just fall to the skill. The Phil, the Super.
Tell you what we must do. We must round up every man, woman, and child in the neighbourhood. It's the only chance we've got.
Yes, right.
Good morning, missus. What's yours?
Have you got any winkles?
Winkles? Nobody winkles? Portrait to pint, winkles, lady.
I'll have a pint of winkles, please.
Very well. I'll wrap that pint up for a woman that hasn't got any money. You got your own pins?
Just a pin.
Of course you... No, you just stand and whistle and they come out to you. Good morning. I've got an idea. I'll go down and see Scotty tonight. I bet he'd be spouting on his pitch. He's got to stop barking politics and round up a few of his Scotch pals. They come down here pinching all the best jobs. It's time they did something for us, isn't it?
I should say so.
What I want is reform. I want social reform, army reform, health reform, and prison reform. I want all those things, my friends. What else do I want? Chloroform! Very funny, my friend. If I look like you, I'd take it. You can have your cheap joke while your joke in the country's going to the dogs. I ask you a question. What do we pay income tax for? Good government. Do we get it? No. What we want in this country is men with convictions. Where can we find men with conviction?
In jail.
Now, there's a man trying to be flippant. Flippancy, my friends, is the curse of this country. What we want is men with earnestness. You take the question of public health. Public health, every man's birthright. If you want to be healthy, you've got to look after yourself good and proper. Look at me. Just look at me. 2 years ago, I was a physical wreck. I look terrible. Look at me today. Now I'm going to tell you what's brought about this wonderful change in me.
What change?
All right, my friend. It's not me that wants to change, it's you people here. You women, you men. Don't you realize this is a country of freedom? Freedom and equality. What's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Women, look at that fur coat shop across the way, and look at the way you're dressed. Go out and get some of those fur coats, and you men, a tailor shop across the way. Go and get yourself a couple of new suits. You're entitled to them. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is... Who's pinched my bag? All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I can't get a fair hearing, I'll draw my remarks to a close. Oh, thanks very much. But finally, let me tell you this. I'll tell you this. Any crowd that can applaud a vulgar heckler reeks of ignorance, just like that fish market does of fish. Heaven help England.
What's the matter, Scotty? Break it up.
Mark, it's a waste of time, Joe.
Yes, but somebody threw a spanner into the works, eh?
Listen, Joe, I can get on with most fellas, but I simply cannot stand a heckler. And that fella, even though he used to ask me to have a drink, I'd refuse him.
And I believe you would too, and I'm proud of you. What about a point?
You, Joe, that's different. Anytime.
No, listen, I want to borrow something.
I thought there was a catch in it.
Not at all. I just want to borrow your voice, that's all.
Borrow my voice? You're not going to get me to make a record for the BBC, are you?
I just want you to spout about our big charity gala performance. Everybody's doing their bit, and we want you to do yours. Come. Hello, Jenny. Anybody called? No. Everybody will soon know about the hospital now. Scotty's got a job after his own heart. Talking and getting money out of people at the same time. Where's Hazel?
Gone to bed.
Oh.
Not over bright. I think she's worrying about that dog. You know, it's been a long time now. I can't understand why Dr. Hood has allowed it to be there. I think Miss Shirley must have something to do with it.
I hope the little tykes all right. I know the kid's worried about it quite a lot.
Now I'm worried about her. Miss Shirley's taking her to the hospital in the morning.
What for?
Dr. Hood sent for her. He wanted you to go with her. Miss Shirley said she'd take care of her. I do hope it's not bad news. You know, she's devoted to that little dog.
I miss the little beggar myself. Once you've had a tail wagging about the house, well, it seems kind of lonely without it.
I asked you to come round, Hazel, because I want to talk to you about Patch.
How is he?
Well, his leg's mending splendidly. But the blow on the head worries me.
But you can do something, can't you, Doctor?
Yes, I shall have to perform an operation. It's more serious than I thought.
Do you mean that he may...
Oh, if the operation's successful, he'll be as right as rain in a week.
Oh, I'll trust you with him, Doctor.
That's right. Now, you run along and do what you can for the hospital. I'll do my best for Patch.
Well, that's the last of them. A pretty good scoop for one day. Almost £200 in checks alone. How are things going your end, Joe?
Oh, first rate. The girls are going to dull the front of the theatre up with flags. Old Gumley down at the Crown is weighing in with a cargo of booze. And the subscription boxes filling up rapidly.
Good for you, Joe. If everybody does as well as you, our successes are sure.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, dear, there you are, then. Do you know, I've just popped in to report my progress to Mr. Barker.
That's very decent of you.
Not at all, you know. We Scattlers are rather like elephants. We never forget.
Well, I hope you've been as successful as Mr. Barker, Lord Cedric.
Oh, yes, my friends have rallied round well. They thought it was an awfully good cause. And when I told them your house was fully licensed, well, that rather clinched matter. You know, I got about 2,000 rolling along, all told.
2,000? Good gracious, the theatre doesn't hold it.
I know, but I've sold the tickets 3 or 4 times over. I thought it was a good idea. No, please don't worry. Look, I brought the doings with me. Can you catch?
Rather. You don't mean to tell me you walk through the market with that lot, do you?
Yes, why not? Do you think I've been indiscreet?
I think you're very lucky you haven't been in the hospital.
Oh, dear.
Well, Lord Cedric's got safely through. And I think we owe him an enormous vote of thanks for all he's done for us.
Yeah.
Here. I beg your pardon.
Now, tell me, Hazel, how have you been getting on with the artists?
All these have promised to help.
I say, you're aiming pretty high, aren't you? Never mind, jolly good luck to you. I say, what's this you got down here about Scotland?
Mr. MacDonald,
That's old Scotty.
he said something about showing that Scotland could beat us at other things besides football.
Oh, did he?
Mr. Lady Langdale and Barty.
I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Thomas. I understand that you used to be a storeholder in our market here.
Lord bless you, I had a stall for 50 years. It was only finished twice, once for obstruction and once for hawking bad parsnips.
Well, we are very pleased to be with you here tonight. This is my family.
Family? By gum, I thought it was your congregation.
You understand that I've been delighted to support this entertainment. But we're not in the habit of going to music halls. I hope there'll be nothing in the show that can possibly offend me and my daughters.
Bless you, no, ma'am. The committee's been most strict. They even cut the joke out about the girl in Hyde Park.
Really? And what did happen to the girl in Hyde Park?
That's the bit they cut out.
Haven't I seen you before?
Yes, your worship.
Quite recently, I think.
Yes, your highness.
Painful duty of finding you, I believe.
Yes, your majesty.
All right, announce us.
His Holiness the Mayor and Lady Mayoress.
Curtains up, gentlemen, please.
All right.
Well, Mr. Thomas, aren't you going to see any of the show?
Not till later on. I got to stick up here and help the bar receiver.
Yes, I don't blame you. It's not a bad idea either.
We've got to make a good showing, you know.
Of course, of course.
It was Joe Barker's idea.
Yes.
He said, now, you stick in the bar, and as soon as any of the boys come in, push the boat out.
Well, I see the boys like rowing.
No. No, that's to help start the rounds going.
Oh.
And he says, it'll be a job after your own heart.
Yes, of course. You know, the last interval was pretty good going. But don't you worry. You're playing your part very, very well.
Well, you know, I've been rehearsing for it for years.
No.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Good evening, Dr. Hazel. I wonder if you mind looking after this little chap till after the show.
It's Hazel Barker's little dog.
Oh, I know, Patch. He got knocked out.
Yes, he's just been discharged from the hospital. Now, not a word to anyone that he's here. I want to give her a surprise.
Right you are, sir. By Joe. You've made a fine job of him, sir.
He's as good as new now, isn't he?
Another one has got to be grateful to the hospital, sir. And to you.
Oh, well, it's all in the day's work, you know. It's my job, patching and mending.
Yes, but all the things, sir, lucky you were there to do it. It's still lucky to know that you'll be able to carry on.
Well, I hope so. It all depends on tonight, though.
It's going all right, sir. I've got an inside information.
Oh, splendid. All right, I'll get round to the front of the house. By the way, you better come and see me in the morning about your throat.
Thank you, sir. Although the race is very good.
Don't hang about there. See what they're doing up top.
Yes, bang us over a couple here. We're thirsty.
Come on over. What do you want? Who's on?
Leon.
Leon?
Oh, they're bright.
What now?
My dear old Highlands, my own dear Highlands, a bonny sight to see. Let me hear your pipers calling, their music falling on my ears where'er I be. Let me close my dreaming eyes and hear the pibroch's call. See the swirling kilts go by, my kinsman brand tall. Oh, call me home, my dear old Highlands, sweet purple Highlands, for I love you best of all. Foreign soil I oft have trod, foreign skies above.
Teach? Someone I want to see you upstairs. Who? You? Me? Yeah. When? Now. Oh.
Wild moor and foaming burn, the mystic brigadier.
Tell me, what did happen to the girl in Hyde Park?
My dear old Highlands, my own dear Highlands, a bonny sight to see. Let me hear your pipers calling, their music falling on my ears where'er I be. Let me close my dreaming eyes and hear the pibroch's call. See the swirling kilts go by, my kinsman brand and all. Oh, call me home, my dear old Highlands, sweet purple Highlands, for I love you best of all.
Thomas, I think I'll have to be going. A lot to do.
What was your name, Lord?
Oh, no, please. No, you know, my friends call me Anthony.
May I call you Anthony?
No, thanks, no. I have an alarm clock. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Peaches next. Are you ready? To get nervous when you get up there. Now try it over.
But I know it.
Well, then try it on him.
I'll show you. Mr. Mayor, your worship.
Your worship, that's wrong. You're not in a police court.
Well, I made a mistake. Anybody's liable to make a mistake, ain't they? Mr. Mayor, when I came down here, I knew I was going to meet a lot of people I don't know.
See, you don't know.
I don't know what?
You don't know your speech.
But I do know me speech. You keep on interrupting me. Leave me alone. I'll show you. Your lordship, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's fine. Now keep it like that.
have been times when I've had to listen to the mayor's speech, but this isn't one of them.
I know, well, come along. Be a nice little man. Come and listen. Come on now. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, seats have now come in from every section of the House, including the bar.
Here, here.
Quiet, quiet.
Pardon.
And the result is most gratifying. The grand total, including the very generous checks we've received from celebrities who've been unable to be present tonight, amounts to no less a sum than £5,342. This sum, together with a magnificent offer of Lord Langdale, will enable us to keep our hospital with us always. Under the circumstances, I thought it only right to ask his lordship to speak to you. Lord Langdale.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not I who should speak to you. My part of the job is comparatively easy. Much of the success of this wonderful performance tonight is due to the children, and one in particular. Mr. Barker's daughter is too busy behind stage to come and speak for herself. But I'm sure you will agree with me that it will be quite in keeping if I ask Mr. Barker, Joe, to say a few words for himself.
Yeah.
Your Lordship, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I was down in the market, I wouldn't be at a loss for words. But here, well, they don't seem to come quite so easy. But I'd like to say this. I'd like to thank all you people on behalf of myself and my pals for the wonderful way in which you've given your support to save our hospital. It means more to us than some of you think. It means, in the first place, that Dr. Hood will be able to remain with us.
Yeah.
And if I might respectfully say so, it looks as though he's going to be tied up round about here in more ways than one. I'd like to especially thank those people that have come a long way to give us their support. I've no doubt that some of you haven't travelled as far east as this before. I dare say that some of you people from the west think that we down here are a queer lot of people. But I want to say this for you. I think you're the grandest lot of mixers I ever met in my life. And if you lived down here with us, you'd realise that's the greatest compliment we ever pay anybody. Good luck to you. And God bless you all.
Soon be telling